Want to speak better English? You are in the right place. Welcome back to English for Your Day. I'm your host, Lily, and I'm delighted to have the insightful Liam back with us, our resident language guru. Today, we're diving deep into the art of building a powerful English vocabulary, not just memorizing lists, but truly understanding and confidently using those words. Liam, the sheer amount of vocabulary can be overwhelming. Where's the most effective place to begin?
Hi, Lily. It's always a pleasure to be here. You're absolutely right. It can feel like climbing a mountain. The key is to start strategically, not haphazardly. For beginners, the focus should be on high-frequency vocabulary. These are the words that appear most often in everyday conversations, the words that form the foundation of basic communication. Think about core topics: family, friends, common objects around you, colors, numbers, days of the week, the weather, your daily routines. These are the essential building blocks.
So, we're not advocating grabbing a massive dictionary and starting with the letter A, are we?
Absolutely not. That's a surefire way to get discouraged and overwhelmed. Instead, I strongly recommend using resources that are visually rich. Our brains are wired to remember images much more effectively than abstract words. There are many language learning platforms available that cleverly pair words with pictures and audio, making the learning process far more engaging and memorable. And don't underestimate the power of video. Many online channels dedicated to English learners use animation, real-life footage, and simple language to teach basic vocabulary. Even content designed for children can be incredibly beneficial for adult beginners because of its visual emphasis and clarity.
And those time-tested flashcards, particularly the ones with pictures, are still a great tool, aren't they?
Absolutely. That direct visual association between the word and the image is incredibly powerful for long-term memory. The key is to make the initial learning process as intuitive and memorable as possible, tapping into how our brains naturally learn.
So, we've established a good starting point. How do we move beyond simply knowing the basic translation of a word and truly grasp its meaning and usage?
This is where active engagement becomes crucial. Don't just passively read a definition and move on. First, focus on mastering the pronunciation. Online dictionaries are invaluable for this. Virtually all of them provide audio pronunciations, often in multiple accents. Listen carefully and imitate the sounds. And don't be afraid to record yourself saying the word and comparing your pronunciation to a native speaker's.
That self-assessment, that active listening to your own pronunciation, is so often overlooked, but it's incredibly valuable.
It is. It helps you pinpoint areas where you need to refine your pronunciation. Then, delve deeper into the meaning. I strongly encourage learners to use English dictionaries as soon as they feel comfortable. It forces you to think in English and to understand the word's nuances within the English language system. Read the definitions thoroughly and pay very close attention to the example sentences.
Those example sentences are like mini lessons in context, showing the word in action, aren't they?
Precisely. They demonstrate how the word is actually used in real sentences, which is essential for understanding its full range of meaning and how it interacts with other words. And don't limit yourself to just the single word. Explore its family. If you're learning happy, also learn happiness and happily. Learn the noun, the adjective, the adverb, and pay attention to collocations, those words that frequently appear together. We say take a break, not do a break.
So, it's about building a network of interconnected words and phrases, not just isolated items.
Exactly. And get creative with it. Create a vivid mental image associated with the word. The more memorable the image, the better. Craft a short story that incorporates the word, placing it in a meaningful context. Connect the word to a personal experience or a strong emotion. The more connections you forge, the stronger the memory trace will be.
And then, of course, the crucial step, putting the word into practice.
Absolutely. This is where the learning truly solidifies. Don't just copy the example sentences from the dictionary. Challenge yourself to write your own sentences, using the word in different contexts and with different grammatical structures. Keep a journal in English and make a conscious effort to incorporate the new words you're learning. Even writing practice emails or messages to friends, or even imaginary correspondence, is excellent practice.
So, active recall and application are essential for long-term retention. But even with all this, how do we prevent those newly learned words from gradually fading away?
The key here is a technique called spaced repetition. It's a scientifically backed method for optimizing long-term memory. The basic principle is that you review words at increasing intervals. So, you might review a new word shortly after learning it, perhaps an hour later, then a day later, then a few days later, then a week later, and so on, gradually increasing the time between reviews.
It's similar to progressively increasing the weight you lift when you're strength training, but for your memory.
That's a perfect analogy. And there are digital tools available that can help automate this process. You can create digital flashcards, and the tool will schedule the reviews for you based on the spaced repetition algorithm. It takes the guesswork out of remembering when to review.
Beyond spaced repetition, are there other effective review strategies?
Absolutely. Variety is key to keeping things engaging. There are numerous online games designed to reinforce vocabulary. Look for grammar exercises or fill-in-the-blank activities that specifically target the words you're learning. And, perhaps surprisingly, one of the most effective ways to solidify your understanding is to try teaching the words to someone else. The act of explaining a concept to another person forces you to articulate your own knowledge, which strengthens your memory.
So, we've covered selecting the right words, actively learning them, and implementing effective review strategies. What about the broader learning environment? How can we create a context that supports and encourages vocabulary growth?
Immersion is incredibly powerful. Surround yourself with English as much as you can. Listen to English music, watch movies and TV shows, starting with subtitles in your native language, and gradually transitioning to English subtitles, and eventually, no subtitles at all. Read English books, articles, or blogs. Choose content that genuinely interests you. Even something as simple as changing the language settings on your phone or computer to English can make a noticeable difference. And, whenever possible, seek out opportunities to interact with native English speakers, whether it's through language exchange partners, online communities, or local conversation groups.
So, it's about transforming English from a separate subject you study into an integral part of your daily life.
Precisely. Be patient with yourself, because learning a language is a journey, not a race. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're an inevitable and valuable part of the learning process. Embrace them, learn from them, and keep moving forward. And most importantly, find the joy in the process. If you're enjoying the learning journey, you're far more likely to persevere and achieve your fluency goals. Pay attention to where and how you're making mistakes and use that information to improve.
Wonderful advice, Liam. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It was my pleasure, Lily.
So, Building your English vocabulary is definitely achievable if you start smart, learn actively, and review regularly. Remember visuals, pronunciation, English dictionaries, and spaced repetition. Make it fun and embrace mistakes. Thanks again, Liam, for your expertise. And thank you, listeners, for watching English for Your Day. Let us know your vocabulary challenges in the comments. Like and subscribe for more English lessons. See you next time. Goodbye.